Alright, Aldrich Pass. It is the losers bracket final, ladies and gentlemen. The final match in Group B here at the Anniversary Cup, celebrating 10 years of Heroes of the Storm. We have a best of 5 on our hands, and it is DDX against the Enjoyers. It's a rematch out of the winner bracket, and this could be wild. Now, in the winner bracket, the two met in a best of 3 series. And back then, it was a 2-0 victory for DDX. They sent the Enjoyers into the losers bracket, and now we are here at the losers bracket final. So the Enjoyers came all the way, made the long run towards the final match, and now have a chance here. After DDX got sent down into the losers bracket themselves, they obviously want to qualify for the playoffs now directly too. And it's going to get interesting because the Enjoyers had a pretty decent run right now. They had a pretty good run through the lower bracket and had a very good showing in their last best of 5 against the Stack of Doom, which was pretty impressive. So the question really remains is DDX just the kryptonite of the Enjoyers? Can they just come in and take them down again? Or are the Enjoyers just basically shrugging that loss out of the winner bracket off and are like, okay, that game, that map didn't really work out for us, but now we're just in a much, much better position and we're going to do our thing. So, we'll see. We got Junkrat instantly picked for the blue team. Quick reminder that we don't have any draft rules. There are no pre-bans. There are no rules that a hero can only be picked once. Nothing of the sorts. So, everybody can just like go all in on whatever draft they want to go for here. Now, Blaze is locked in for Richu. So, this time we actually don't get his Dehaka, which has been played a lot. We're on Aldrich Pass. We could still get some shenanigans around, let's say, Anubarak and Beetles to try and cheese the objective a little bit. But I'm really intrigued who's going to take this right now. I was blown away by the fact that the Enjoyers did so exceptionally well against the Stack of Doom in the previous series. And the fact alone that the Stack of Doom got just eliminated out of the group. But can they now carry that momentum into the next series? There's, by the way, Anubarak. I just talked about him a second ago. So now we have Anubarak in the house. But DDX has been a bit of a surprise here in this tournament. They've been doing... There's been so many teams, actually, in the tournament that caused upset after upset. It was crazy. Not only in Group B, even in Group A we saw some of those. But, for example, looking at the team here, I mean, a lot of the names are ringing a bell. Just the top 3 alone. You have Lopaka, Shizake, Danazovsky. Those are people that ring a bell, that immediately, you know, there's like some name recognition there if you follow the European scene for any length of time. But at the same time, you're thinking about the opponents that they went up against, and it comes as a bit of a surprise that they're doing this well. I didn't expect them to just get absolutely rolled or anything, but I didn't expect them to come in and absolutely obliterate everything that stands in their path. So good on them, but they now have to do it once more, or it's been all for naught. With Rhaegar now taken, we have bans in on Jojo, and Chen got banned, which is always a little bit sad because we want to see more Chen. Mopsio goes for Diablo, and then we get a Greymane by Atrax. Yeah, Mopsio, whenever he plays Diablo, he played it once in the previous series on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and he really exploited the fact that he had a second life. I mean, damn. He was sacrificing himself time and time again when he saw that he had the soul stacks up. For sure. So, is it going to do the same on Aldrich Pass? Time will tell. By now, we got Jimmy. Here's our auto attacker again. So, Aldrich Pass kicks off with Jimmy and Junkrat as the damage dealers for DDX. And that brings us to the final pick for map number 1 in the best of 5 series here. And again, the final match in Group B. The winner moves on to the playoffs. The loser might still have another chance in the last chance qualifier group thingy. There is still something where a few of the teams will have another shot, but obviously this is nothing that you want to rely upon. Zeratul is the final choice, and with that we're heading straight into Aldrich Pass. First game between DX and the Enjoyers, and we are on Aldrich Pass. On the left, they were victorious in the winner bracket against the Enjoyers. It's DDX with Lopaka. On Junkrat, Shizakid is playing Anubarak. We got Virgil on Leoric, Dead Inside on Reyna. Highly likely that he goes for Ace in the hole, and there it is. And we got Danazovsky on Rhaegar. On the right side of the map, the Enjoyers with Arian on Zeratul, Markotzel on Brightwing. We get Richu on Blaze, Mopsio is playing Diablo, and Itrax with Greymane. Alrighty, so who is gonna be able to take the lead in this best of 5 series? Are we gonna see again some dominant performance from the blue team, or is this where it all ends for them and the red team gets revenge for the loss in the winner bracket? Zeratul with the Might of the Narazim build going into the Shadow Hunter on level 1 immediately, and down at the bottom of the map Jimmy going up against Blaze. Marine against Firebat. We're going full StarCraft over here. No stacking, nothing crazy like that. Okay, apparently they did. I was like, what is he doing? Apparently they didn't see Blaze sneak past and they thought that he was hiding in the bush here. So that wasn't the case. Dead inside, therefore not able to connect any additional damage. But Zeratul was able to get a kill at the top. It's a bit low. It's always the nice thing when you have Brightwing and you have Zeratul. You can always try to move them in together to try and get a numbers advantage. But after Junkrat gets eliminated, Brightwing falls as well. So it's a trade in kills right there. Now, down at the bottom of the map, we're now looking at Blaze still doing his thing pretty much solo, but camps are being claimed by both of the teams. You want to set them on the lanes, of course, as quickly as you can. And Nuburak is already saying hello over here. Gets a bit attack, gets at least some stuns through, but was obviously just attempting to annoy people a bit and see if he can maybe delay them further on the camp itself. Then at the same time, down here, we have Jimmy just continuously doing his thing. With Jimmy, it's all about positioning, making sure that you're staying safe. Lately, the build has changed, of course, too. The cooldown reduction on level 13 is now mostly taken. Not exclusively, we've seen a few different builds in this tournament alone, but it's more about penetrating around cooldown reduction, the synergy with a level 16 talent, and trying to create some extra space for yourself. Leo, for now, with the Ghastly Reach, and on level 1 with Consume Vitality. We have down here a play for Diablo. Brightwing goes for the heal. The jet propulsion misses. Jimmy with a stutter step action. Junkrat is a little bit low, but Greymane is completely dead. And I don't think that Blaze is going to make it out here either. Oh my god, that Ragdoll gets kicked on hard. Once again, it is DDX with the lead. 3 kills to 1, and now they're starting to take a few of the towers out here. Not bad. Momentum. Prisoner camp is going to be up in a few seconds, but they are not able to... Well, they might actually be able to go for the prisoner camp here with the Nubarak and cheese it a bit. But they're definitely able to do some damage down here. So even the fort has taken some small amount of damage, but that's a great start for them. Also, when we're talking about that skirmish, it helped Jimmy to get stacks for his level 4. He went into the behemoth armor. He's of course going to try and make himself pretty unkillable here throughout all of that. And we'll see if that's gonna work out for him. I mean, right now he hasn't died yet. So far, things are going splendidly for him. And Nubarak gets stunned out, polied, and is gonna not die. He actually makes it out. Well, there's so many people coming in, I think eventually he's gonna fall now, and yep, that is the end. This is the problem with the Nubarak trying to scout too heavily and using his mobility. I said it before, but if you're up against Brightwing, if you get stunned and Brightwing just tailors in, then once the teleport is over, you have a quick polymorph against you too, and that shuts you down very quickly. So, in this case, Nubarak gets killed. That's 3 kills to 2 now. Small momentum for the Enjoyers. Diablo still looking for opportunities here. And looking to, of course, get a stun at any wall. And at the top, it's still the same play that we had at the bottom of the map. Blaze up against Jimmy. Once again, the play for the next wall. They're just trying to fight it out in the middle. And it's again a Nubarak that dies. They need to be careful with that front line. This is starting to become a bit of a thing. This is the second time in a row now that a Nubarak has died like this. And he just needs to prevent that from happening. Now the red team is starting to go for the prisoner camp. So they're going to try and take it here. And the first objective, I mean, it might work out. Nubarak is now coming back. It's usually a little bit tricky to take it that easily. So, yeah, Brightwing gets attacked. But the channel is going there, and that's a kill. Down goes Rhaegar. And Nubarak wasn't there yet. Rhaegar got taken out in the choke point. Now Leo falls. And the Enjoyers are enjoying a lot of momentum, a lead in experience, in kills, and they're gonna enjoy the first objective. So, there it is. DDX with some nice little moves just at the beginning of the game that allowed them to break down the wall at the bottom fort and even damage it a bit. But currently the game, I don't want to say it's walking away from them, but it's definitely starting to turn in favor of the enjoyers. The early level 10 helps. Well, no, I don't think they're going to have a lead here when the objective is actually appearing on the lanes. It's 10 versus 10. And with Cocoon, you now have some tools that you can, of course, use to section off parts of the opponent's team. Jimmy is going for Reyna's Raiders. Summons that Banshee. But, yeah, the first one over here, first Raider is nearly taken out. Jimmy's taking care of the one at the top. The walls are falling, though. Yeah, the walls are falling. And Leo is down at the bottom of the map just going and swinging for the fences. I'm saying it again. I said it in the past and I have to stress it. I think the best skin for Leoric would have been a baseball skin. Imagine Leo just swinging for the fences with a baseball bat. You can make his entomb a batting cage. You can make some pretty awesome taunts, you know, where he's just pointing to the horizon, knocking it out of the park. The voice lines write themselves. It would have been incredible. But Blizzard just doesn't listen to me. They never have. It's pretty fairly even now. Zeratul is defending the bot lane. 15 stacks for Jimmy. So getting his stacks together, his hit points in, and then stopping Blaze right away. Yeah, every single one that he connects is going to give him a few more hit points. So currently he's enjoying an additional 160 nearly. And of course on top of that he gets the initial boost of 200. So it's a pretty beefy hero honestly at this point. Leo, he's just skin and bones though. So he's sitting down at the bottom of the map currently. Got killed and is acting as a sentry ward. Yeah, Zeratul is going to get out of this without any problem. But it's 6 kills to 3. It's a little bit more of a slower approach into the game. The enjoyers obviously are also massively warmed up. They came into this just of a recent win with a 3-0 in their previous match. So pretty decent. But more and more damage on those forts now, but with the objective spawning again, if they can claim it once more, that would be pretty huge for the enjoyers. Because right now, when it doesn't come down to the objective, they're actually losing ground. I mean, just look what happens at the bottom of the map. That fort loses more and more HP. Now they're rotating back out. Danazovsky and Rega still fine. And the Cocoon. Yeah, Rega's gonna be fine. Leo might die again, and actually does, as they're 4-manning the bot lane. But he's also going to respawn very, very quickly. Now, with Dead Inside going for the objective, he's trying to take the grunts out here. But he's the only one that is currently there. Has gone for the cooldown reduction, by the way, now on level 13. And Lopaka wants the channel. So they're applying a little bit of pressure in the middle. Rega! And he makes it out! Yes, he gets away. Gets the cooldown. Gets out, and now everybody starts to jump towards the middle for the big team fight. So they're enjoying a 5 versus 5 now. With the Riptire coming in, Banga gets burned down, Mopsio's a little bit low, and Rega just gets bullied into a wall and instantly dies. There's the jet propulsion stun. They go for the double, and they might be able to get a few more kills here. And Mopsio survives through all of this. Mopsio was insanely low, but survived through the entire onslaught. And now the objective is attacked again, and Junker just presents himself as another target, gets stunned and killed by Diablo. So Mopsio is currently murdering the entire team here. He has, surprisingly enough, only 12,000 damage, and honestly looks like he got the majority of the kills for them. Jimmy is at the bottom of the map trying to take the fort out. The objective, of course, is going to be won by the enjoyers, and they're also going strong on the fort in the middle. So there is certainly a lead for them. Jimmy is going to claim the fort, so this is at least going to be a trade. He leaves it up to his Banshee and the Winions to take it out, in case that there's a rotation coming his way, which is not the case. But this is starting to get a little bit wild. They want to reclaim the camp, and I don't think they can. They have to just live with the fact that they're losing another objective. Too many massive stuns by Diablo. Also, the jet propulsion had followed up on it. But, whew, Those were some pretty epic moves. Now they have to deal with the Raiders again. And just looking at the death numbers here too. Leo died 3 times already. And Nubarak died twice. Everybody except for Jimmy died. It's actually kind of funny. Jimmy is usually the one that you're worried about. But he is the one that has not fallen yet, and he's also holding the top damage for the team with 26,000. Zeratul and Grayman are both ahead of him, but still. So yeah, defense up here at the top. 16 talents are ready. There's the Entomb. Grayman doesn't care. Uses a Nubarak Speedles to jump out of this. And is totally fine here. Down at the bottom of the map, the fort has fallen. Up at the top, they're still chasing a little bit. The team is going to try and get a kill here. If they can, that would be pretty nice for them, because they could snowball it towards the fort too. And Mopsio is indeed going down. Now, he obviously had his soul stacks, but this should be a fort. They should try and take this one out. Down at the bottom of the map, we have Junkrat now doing his thing. And is trying to hold on to this, but the topside fort has indeed fallen. So, as the dust settles with 2 objectives to their name, the Enjoyers are slightly inherent structures, but they haven't, I mean, they have also only 1 fort standing. So, DDX is doing pretty alright. They're doing pretty okay currently. It seems like it's only going to be 1 boss. Zeratul moved down to the bottom of the map. Nope, they want to go for it too. Greymane is currently not here yet, but will be soon. But it's going to be the team at the top that is going to grab the boss first. I think the rotation to the bottom of the map, if they are planning it, it will be too late to accomplish anything there. But it's a boss for a boss at least. So, as is, we're now having them make the play down here. Make sure that they're getting a boss too. To try and push for one of the keeps a little bit. I mean, obviously Leori could sit at the top lane a little bit longer and try and destroy another minion wave. But one way or another, this is going to do at least some damage. But what DDX has to do is they have to win a couple of team fights. And they've been struggling with Diablo. Diablo has been killing them. He has been setting up a huge amount of plays for the team. And the Nubarak, he suffered. So they're taking this one out fairly quickly. Greymane is of course going to do the same thing at the top. So I don't think that the Enjoyers have to worry about anything here. Neither do players on the side of DDX. The one thing that they're going to lose, though, because of that rotation, is the fort at the top. They concentrate on the boss defense, and the fort at the top falls as a result. Yeah, that's the casualty here. So, with that, we now have the camps back up. 18 versus 18. Funnily enough, at least for a few moments, we have the blue team in the lead in experience. Junkrat is at least having fun. Yeah, that's one of them. And they want the camp here. This is the 3rd objective. These things scale. So this is starting to hurt a lot more now. And if the blue team gets it, then hey, fantastic. They're definitely going to get the lead on it. But can they hold it long enough? Zeratul is already starting to slowly move in here. Here comes the flank. They need to be careful with Diablo. Diablo is moving in. Tries to get them into the jet propulsion. Not quite. And Dibbles is about to go down. The bunker saves him. Lopaka is still alive, and Zeratul gets cocooned. Zeratul gets cocooned. Jet propulsion once again. Zeratul makes it out, and everybody still lives, which is honestly a little bit crazy. There were so many heroes, they were basically dead already as this just started to play out. They're going for Mopsio again, and he gets melted and somehow still survives until late. It's a kill from Jimmy. He gets all the damage through. Leorki falls as well, but he will be back so much sooner. Junkrat needs to go to the middle of the map, though, to deal with the camp and to deal with the wave. He has also a lot of experience that they're grabbing because of this. But the fight over the objective continues, and Leo will be back soon. Much, much sooner than Diablo, for example. 30 stacks also for Jimmy. That means that he has, by now, 240 additional hit points. And on top of that, we're going to have him with the 200 that he got initially. So that's a huge chunk of HP that he got through this. So yeah, Bullet is out again. Shizakid in trouble. Zeratul follows. Poli! And the kill. Jimmy gets damage out, but he's fully isolated. Zeratul is dead. And Jimmy just can't survive this. He got caught on the wrong side of the fight. That's the end of him. Leo is back, but it's still a 2 versus 3 that they're fighting now. So it's a really, really awkward spot. Great fight from the Enjoyers to be able to bring this one back. Zeratul with level 20. The entire team obviously has level 20. And we have the Might of the Nerazim quickly upgraded. They could still take the objective here. Twilight Falls is in, but now Diablo is back to... it seems that DDX is losing another objective. Really feels they're losing another one. We got the Trader King for Anubarak. He's just realizing, guys, I am struggling to stay alive. We need to do something. Buried Alive is also up, which is obviously going to be a big tool for them. Rhaegar, this is insane 20s that they have here. Those are really insane 20s that they get with this. So we'll see what they can do with it. Not only do targets now become more vulnerable, we have more survivability for Anubarak. We have Buried Alive, which is huge. In addition to that, we are also getting the double Ancestral. So there's a lot of really fantastic tools that DDX now has. But is it going to be enough? Because they are already a bit behind in structures, and this next objective is not going to help that either. So, yeah. I mean, time will tell. For now, when it comes to just raw damage numbers, we have 44,000 for Jimmy. He's still trailing behind Greymane, but he has overtaken Zeratul now. His survivability is getting better, but it's just not good enough. So, yeah, the attack in the middle. Losing one keep is still fine. You lose one armor shield. I don't even think that they're necessarily going to lose one here unless they lose some heroes. And this is obviously what the Enjoyers are hoping for. They're going to try and take some heroes out. But the first one has been eliminated. Red team will still posture around in the middle of the map. At least that's what we can expect. 4 deaths on Leorki. Trade activated. Oh yeah. Yeah, Jimmy. Both damage dealers actually just going for the top. Should probably let that slide now if they want to have a chance of maintaining the hit points on the keep in the middle. And well, there's the stun. Zeratul, very low, buried alive. Where's the kill? They can't get it. They cannot get the kill. The Blaze Bunker is saving all of them again. This is ridiculous, really. Holy crap. They were able to save the entire team here thanks to the bunker. It looked like 2 of them at least would fall, and now nobody does. The Enjoyers are making sometimes such amazing plays, especially on the defensive side. It's crazy. Multiple heroes were hit by Buried Alive, and then they were targeted. The bunker saved them barely, and then the heals and everything just coming through for the team, and they're pulling it off. Now it's an exchange in bosses again, but the DDX just can't get a break. They're always running in a situation where it looks like they might finally lock some kills in for themselves, and then it just doesn't happen. Rhaegar gets stunned out by the boss too. That's definitely not a great look either. Red team is way faster on the objective. So now the top side keep is going to get attacked. Unless DDX wins a team fight, they're going to lose this game. The Enjoyers have damaged every single keep by now, and this is going to eventually lead to an enormous amount of problems. I mean, they're pushing towards the bottom and the middle right now, so they definitely want to have the keeps here, and Zeratul is going to solo this one with ease. Blue team obviously knows that they need to win some fights, so that's exactly what they're going for right now. They're hoping to just go and force a couple of battles. The last ones haven't really gone too badly for them. The problem is just simply that every time it looks like they are finally going to get some kills in, a bunker gets dropped, the opponent plays around it, and it's just not happening. So now, one keep has been destroyed, one armor shield removed from the core. But, yep, the defense at the bottom is also going strong. I think this objective is basically going to decide it. DDX can still turn this game around. Both teams are on level 22. They're now 20 minutes into the game. But if you want to claim it, you need to win the objective. Or at least win an enormous teamfight victory. So, the Anubarak is sitting at the front. Again, he has the Trader King now. Way more survivability for him than previously. And they're currently just chilling. Just hiding over here. Damage output, 52,000 for Jimmy. 235,000 siege damage, by the way, for Junkrat. So they're already up at the top. There's the stun. Gets one out. 2. Attack is immediately in. And there it is. Blaze is caught in the Buried Alive, and it still doesn't matter. Ancestral comes out. They're trying to go for the Riptire Connect here against them, and they dropped them a little bit lower. Ults have been used, not all of them, but everybody dropped at least some. Once again, an Uberak, they go for him, and he's likely gonna fall. Can they get the counter kill? They can get Greymane, and Uberak is alive! Finally, it's the blue team that is able to save some heroes here. Rhaegar wants the kill on Zeratul and might be able to grab him. Goes for Zeratul again, and Uberak is diving in as well. Danazovsky is on the run. They're chasing him. Arian is gonna fall. That's the end of him. The wolf goes for the bite, and that's 2 heroes down. They are going to win the objective here. They're gonna take this one. Is it gonna be enough to turn the game around? That's the question, though. They finally got some kills. I could have sworn an Uberak would die too, but this time they were the team to keep somebody alive. They kept an Uberak in play, and now they have a full 5 versus 3 for a little bit longer. They take the opponent's fort out, and they can maybe even open up a couple of walls before the objective actually appears. Cams are also getting taken. 7 seconds for Greymane. This is now a big, big chance for DDX to gain a bit of momentum here. Yeah, Diablo's already here, waiting at the wall. They're starting to take this one down. They got the cap, they have a second one coming in too, and this is not even accounting for the objective. The question is just who's losing heroes next. Zeratul dying as a bit of a staggered death was a problem and set the red team back. Now he's coming back into the game though. 5 versus 5. A little bit of damage on that keep, but here comes the cavalry. So, this is the moment. Can they defend? Or is the blue team now gaining momentum? Blue team has lost a lot of hit points, but that's a solid defense here. I mean, damn, that cavalry disappeared within seconds. So up at the top, they're going for the next one now. This one has already been opened up, but I'm not sure what they can actually pull off here. The attack is focusing onto the middle of the map instead. So they're trying here. Buried Alive, of course, still as a massive tool if they can force a fight, and they're going to be looking for it. They haven't destroyed a keep. No keep destroyed. And again, let's not forget, not only did DDX lose a keep, if you look at the 2 keeps that they still have, they're insanely low. Diablo engages again, immediately eats some damage from Jimmy. And it's all about position for Jimmy here right now, and of course about the penetrating round and trying to create a little bit of space for himself. Zeratul is starting to move in. Keep is still taking damage. 1 keep down. 1 keep down. And Uberak gets the Ancestral. Immediately, Bunker is out as well. Bunker is gone. Not a bad situation for the blue team, honestly. If they can turn it on Mopsio, that would be the play. Zeratul is attempting to flank in from above. They go for Mopsio again. Brightwing with the heal. Zeratul in the back. Has to be super careful now too. Mopsio is moving out. Cocoon already used. Mopsio is mega low as Greymane is trying to save the target. Mopsio is eliminated, but Junkrat is gone. Jimmy is somehow still alive. I don't understand how. He finally dies. But Zeratul gets also eliminated. It's a 3 versus 3. Jimmy survived throughout half the fight. Absolutely bonkers. I thought he was dead for sure, and he survived another 3 seconds before he finally got dropped. So now they're moving into the middle. They want another kill, and Brightwing barely gets away. The Entomb hits hard. They want this keep. They want to take the keeps out. Remove the armor shields. 3 versus 3 for 20 more seconds. Each team still has a hero to heal them. Still has a healer available here. And they're doing whatever they can in order to win the battle. The drains from Leoriga, of course. But they are being pushed back. It is so dead even. What the hell? How deep did he go just now? It's actually wild how close this is now. Look at the keeps. I mean, this one, yes, is a bit of a joke, but the rest is essentially the same. Bosses are back up on the map, and now it's just a question on what exactly are you going to go for here. The blue team is already moving down to the bottom of the map to take the boss. Red team wants the one at the top. This is a race. Whoa! Tactical pause! Danazovsky pausing the game here. What? Danazovsky with the pause. Oh my god, the timing of it. They're going to strategize for sure now. Both teams. They're going to decide how they're going to play this. Who's going to make which move. It's not a long pause though, but yep. who's taking the boss first? I think the blue team is going to be a bit slower, right? Greymane is a monster on this one. There's a big wave coming through at the bottom of the map, though, so that's also going to be an issue. So yeah, boss is taken, and they're a little bit faster. Tiny little bit faster. It could be a core race. They could actually race the core here. Oh, I think they're defending. I'm not sure that they can. Yep, but they have one armor shield on the core, and the opponent has still two. They're gonna try and defend this. Oh boy. This is going down to the wire. And I think the boss at the bottom of the map is gonna do absolutely nothing, because as I said before, there's two armor shields still standing. So yeah, here comes the move. I think this is a win for the Enjoyers. I think they pull it off. Only one armor shield remaining. Unless they lose the team fight quickly, it's gonna be tough. And they kill Leo. Leo is instantly dead. The core is just falling faster on the blue team side. Red team is also losing there slowly, but now Rhaegar is gone as well, and it just doesn't look good. This is gonna be a win for the Enjoyers. They take the first game in the best of 5 series here at the losers bracket final. GG. Well played.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
The Enjoyers take the lead, 1-0. Infernal Shrines is our second map. And DDX with, honestly, a great showing on the first map as well. So they played well, they had some really strong moments here. But at the end of the day, the Enjoyers were just a little bit stronger. And that's already the start of a bit of a revenge plot here for the red team. Taking revenge for the loss in the winner bracket. But now, of course, we're going to Infernal Shrines, and immediately we're having a couple of targeted bans as D.Va gets banned out. Was played last time the two of them faced off against each other on Infernal Shrines. But I'm curious. The Enjoyers have now taken 4 wins in a row. So they won the previous series, they've taken the first map here. Whereas DDX obviously lost in the winner bracket final and has now their second shot at going straight to the playoffs. So from a motivational perspective, you could get into your head a bit after losing a few games here. And I suppose that the Enjoyers are actually feeling pretty good about themselves at this point. But it was so close on the last map that I would still be very cautious and wait and see what happens now on the second one before we make any judgments here, because the blue team has proven time and time again that they're really difficult to deal with. Now, Mopsio with Mirrodin, and we've actually seen this Mirrodin now multiple times with Avatar, with Haymaker, trying to go for isolation kills, trying to sustain himself at the front to shield for the team. Junkrat for Atrax this time. And with Blaze as the opening choice for DDX, we're getting Honor Redemption. Yeah, we know, Hanzo, we know. We can give it a rest for now. So we get Blaze and we get Johanna. Always a great comp. Not only because you have now Jojo and Blaze for AoE damage on the shrines, but Johanna, very difficult to kill. Lots of fantastic tools for her. Hanzo with nice scouting tools, good damage, stun follow-ups. They're banning Anduin out for now. And yeah, we'll just see what exactly is being added by DDX later on the next pick phase, the final pick phase, in order to get more damage in on those shrines, and also what their support is going to be. For the Enjoyers, on the other hand, Richu, he hasn't played his Dehaka yet in this in this game, in this series. And he's been playing tons of Dehaka previously. He oftentimes gets banned out too. Now, Leoric gets banned, and that makes Dehaka pick even more likely. Leo would have been a very good choice for Infernal Shrines as well, obviously. It's always nice to have him move between the lanes, the middle and the top, and then also get his AoE into the shrine fights. But Dehaka, definitely an option now for the Enjoyers, and there he is. Gets picked by Richu, as already expected, and we get Malfurion. Now we've seen actually Makotsu with a really huge amount of Malfurion plays that just, I don't want to say won the team fight for them immediately, but some of the root follow-ups that we got from him in general were absolutely on point, and so definitely a good choice for them. Now, obviously, blue team, after just losing on All Drag Pass, wants to do everything that they can in order to bring this back, so they get aggressive with Tychus and the Odin transformation, and they have Brightwing, Danazovsky with the Fruit Fly. Yeah, really solid and well-rounded draft that they're running here. Whereas for the Enjoyers, this is going to come together with Arian making the final pick. He had this insane Genji performance on Tomb of the Spider Queen in the previous series. So eventually I think we're going to see his Genji again. Might even be happening here now. But yeah, enjoy us against DDX. The final pick is Zeratul once again. And with that we're heading into our second map in the Infernal Shrines. DDX in blue, eager to win Infernal Shrines to tie the series and not go 0-2 in this best of 5. Now, we have for the blue team, on the left, Lopaka on Hanzo. Dead inside is playing Tychus with quarterback as his level 1 choice, so he's going into a grenade build. With Danazovsky on Brightwing, once more the Greater Polymorph. Virgil is playing Blaze, and we have Shizakid on Johanna. Interestingly enough, Arian with Zeratul now changing his build up a little bit and going into Greater Cleave, so this could be a full-on Cleave build, or we might see him with a bit of a hybrid approach. Richu on Dehaka, Mopsy on Muradin, we got Itrax on Junkrat, and Makotzel is playing Malfurion. Now, Cleave Zeratul, great for the Shrine, but might affect also the will affect the playstyle, but might also affect his choices later on, specifically on level 10. Highly likely that he's going for Might of Nerazim anyways, but just saying, with this build... Ooh, wow! Right-Wing survived? This is the Survivor series, seriously. How many times have we now seen fights where a hero just went out of the battle with essentially no hit points left and somehow made it? And Brightwing surviving here is just crazy. So, as I was about to say, you could technically go Void Prison. We don't really see a whole lot. There's no wombo potential here, really. But I guess there's always a chance that you're attempting to section off parts of the opponent's team and focus on others. So, there's a chance of that happening. Just saying, if you go into a Cleave build, it could be a thing. But either way, with Brightwing surviving this, which is a little bit bonkers in the first place, we now have Dehaka sitting topside. Take another wave out, down here. Yeah, Muradin. Mobs is just doing what he does best. He's annoying people. He's just sitting there saying like, alright, I got this. Gets also a few more heals from Malfurion over here so they can go a little bit deeper on all of it. And does immediately exactly that. Now, Malfurion at the bottom of the map is still guarding, yeah, Junkrat. The rotation is currently being dominated by the blue team that are moving between the mid and the top lane. And all the way up the top, the Tong. And they go for Danazovsky again. Good connect from Richu. But they were not able to get a kill here. They have a lot of wave clear now all of a sudden though. And are with that maybe able to take parts of that wall out. The Cleave build continues. He's going into a full Cleave build on this. Rending Cleave on level 4 now. We get the bigger they are against Muradin from Tychus. And everybody's still looking for kill number 1 in all of this. Muradin just going for Blaze, and they already know that there are some reinforcements coming, but as you can see, the wall has pretty much been destroyed. Only a tower is still standing, and not a whole lot of that either. Now, down at the bottom of the map, yeah, still that we have a couple of the heroes still around here and slowly doing their thing. And the first objective is now spawning. And with that, we're gonna have our first fight. Actually, not guaranteed. Lately, we're seeing more and more the play where on the first objective, you just let it go to your opponent while you are trying to get some damage on structures. That's mostly the case when we have Sylvanas in the composition. But sometimes you see it still when Tychus, for example, is being played. Part of the reason is that his real power spike on the shrines comes with level 10. But we now also have the early level 7 talent, probably for the Enjoyers, because they have a global that they can use and then tunnel into the 5 versus 5 team fight. So either DX has to match the rotation and get the experience, or what's going to happen instead is that they could try and get Blaze to the top first, but then they're losing out on the early level 7. Now, the objective up. Seems like the blue team takes it. Blue team is about to grab it right now. They have 29 already, and this is just simply too late to take. They have the early level 7 as expected, but they're not going to be able to do anything with that. So Zeratul and Dehaka both down at the bottom of the map and able to make maybe a play here. But the first objective, the first Punisher, is going over to DDX. Level 7 talent, we get Seeker in the dark. Yep. And with the Mortar Punisher, who's going to bait it over the wall? Okay. The team is ready. There's the pull. And they're going to be fine on this. Zeratul and Dehaka are both still rotating very aggressively on the lanes to try and get some damage in on those walls and also ensure that there is always pressure with minion experience that needs to be picked up. Oh, Jojo. Yeah, gets body blocked a little bit, but not enough for them to net themselves a kill here. And this fort is losing way too much. So, nice root. Fantastic root. Really nice play against... Oh, Tigers! But Junkrat gets murdered. And to make matters worse, which I actually think is way worse than that, we just had the fort also destroyed. So Mopsio is jumping back out. Was a really nice move to take Tigers out like this, but the problem is the Punisher went full John Cena, jumped in and took down Junkrat a moment later, and now you're losing your top fort on the first objective. That's really something that shouldn't happen here. So DDX is generally speaking off to a good start here, taking a major structure out of the opponent. Zeratul could become a little bit of a linchpin though. A lot of the Zeratul plays that we've seen in game number 1 were very difficult to deal with for DDX, and this could happen again in a similar fashion. A very different build again, as I said before, but it allows him also for a lot more wave clear, and he's been using this a lot. And Dehaka is now sitting at the top. Virtual still fine, and there's the jet propulsion. Down at the bottom of the map, the level 10 is kicking in for the Enjoyers though. They have the added experience. And we actually get Void Prison. Void Prison is actually in. Brightwing down, and that is the end of Tigers. The Blessed Shield came out a moment too late, but we have a VP. Void Prison for the red team. Now, you can technically combo Void Prison with Riptire, I suppose. But it's more likely that he's trying to just section off parts of the opponent's team and that they're taking the opponent one at a time. Junkrat, honestly, my friend, you deserve that death. You stood in those towers way too long, and that was so beautiful. We'll take a look at it again. Look at this. He's taking way too much damage. He has full HP, gets a little bit greedy over here, and then boom, straight to the face. So that was well done by Hanzo. Hanzo comes in, connects the arrow, and it's the end of Junkrat. Kill number 2. VP is out. And, well, I am not sure if they can save Malfurion, and the answer is no. That VP just didn't do enough to save the day for them. And now it's a 5-man at the bottom of the map for the blue team. Dehaka is still sitting at the top and is trying to get experience and counter damage in on the top side fort. Nice Stormbolt. Not even forcing the bunker though. But yeah, some nice moves from DDX, and they're exploiting the situation again as best as they can. And they're burning Muradin down. Muradin is dead, and that is 4 kills to 3 now. But Dehaka is also getting damage in at the top. And with him eliminating another minion wave, that also means that the fort is going to take more damage. Zeratul is currently sitting in the middle and providing all that AoE clear that they need in order to push this wave out. The next objective is popping up, and that's going to be one that both teams will fight for with the level 13 talents in their hand. At least you would expect that. Red team is maybe a bit ahead in experience, but that's a gap that should be easily bridged by the Enjoyers. They've taken out their own mercenary camp too. And, well, off we go. Level 13 any moment. Jojo. Yeah, straight up with the Iron Skin here. But the Dehaka's at the bottom of the map delivering the experience for the Enjoyers. 13 is already in for DDX. That gives us the spray and pray for Tigers. The arrow, Malfurion, Blessed Shield as a follow-up. And he's alive. There's a lot of cooldowns that were just burned on Malfurion for pretty much nothing. Pops the ult, but is totally fine here. Can get those heals out, and instead we now have the focus on Blaze. Brightwing to the rescue. Riptire though. Brightwing got stopped by the VP. Zeratul facilitated the kill by stopping Brightwing to assist Blaze. Blaze all alone, and then he gets killed. So now 4 kills to 4. Topside fort is also taking more and more damage, and they want to try and take this one out. Actually, they're trying to go for a kill on Tigers, which they're not able to get. But they can definitely get, after they just took a Punisher, also the fort at the top lane. So, the Enjoyers. A little bit more momentum for them. The bait over the wall. Frozen Punisher is starting to have some fun here. Griefing for just a second. He doesn't really know what's going on. But this should be at least the wall. Probably half of the HP on the fort too. Dehaka jumping out. Talking about jumping. Punisher's jumping in too. He wants a piece of all of this. And yeah, 50% HP roughly. Very, very roughly gone from the fort now. Each team has lost one fort. Zeratul, again, going to be the one to make a few of the plays as this continues. He's currently sitting at 14,000 damage. Top damage in the game is, as you would already expect, Hanzo, 27,000, and then Junkrat with 22k. Again, Condemn. Alright, Isolation has been used. Rip Tire, and this could be a kill. They go for Hanzo, they take him down, and Brightwing barely survives. But this is the Enjoyers building up momentum for themselves. They're starting to get a couple more kills here. They're making moves, and I can guarantee you that they would also have been able to get a few more kills in that last fight, if not for the cooldown on Zeratul's Void Prison. That fight was a perfect opportunity to section some of the opponents off and take him down there. Tychus already with his ult. They really wanted to defend the fort here. They're still down Hanzo. Hanzo's coming back in a moment. Could YOLO out an arrow, of course, as well, but this mid lane fort, mega low. Will be claimed eventually. Next objective is, by the way, spawning topside. So yeah, topside objective is going to be the next one. Blaze now down at the bottom of the map. And Zeratul, I'm telling you, huge impact on all of this. The fact alone that he just went for the Void Prison earlier against Brightwing when Brightwing wanted to go to the rescue, to come to the rescue of Blaze, that was already a big one. And situations like this could happen a bit more often now, of course, as well, if he's looking for those. 16 talents are kicking in for both teams. Giant Slayer, and now with the Void Slash, the Cleave build is done. Arrow! Ah, this time Itrax dodges it. This time he sees it coming. Yeah. Fool me once. Shame on you. But second time he dodges the arrow. No problems there. Dehaka, by the way, also hasn't died yet, so no problems with the Gambit stacks on level 7. And Dehaka is still topside. That's the big global of the game now. Zeratul hasn't died, Dehaka hasn't died, and neither has Janna. So Janna at the front line was also able to survive through everything thus far. But there's the next jump. Stormbolt against Hanzo. Yeah, Meridian has to put the avatar up, so they're going for the fight. Here is the Void Prison. They're trying to get some damage in, and they will. Here comes the slash. The Void Slash damage is insane. Tychus is down, Hanzo is dead. Brightwing is not going to make it either. There is just no way that Anazovsky gets out of it. Not with Zeratul appearing too. So, yep, that's the end of Blaze. And Brightwing will fall too. That's 4 heroes down. Jojo is the only survivor here. The fort has been eliminated. And now they just have to decide how they want to play this. They're going for the top side wall. They're trying to expose the keep so that once they take the objective itself, they can make the move there. And Dehaka is already on it, trying to get himself a couple of shrine minions to get the progress there. So they want to open this one up, and they do. And they can also get a little bit of damage on the keep if they really want to. They want Jojo, but yeah, that's not happening. So a little bit of damage, not enough. Shiza Kid technically could... Whoa! Blessed Shield, yep. Cleansed out, and tries to get away. Tychus, the arrow, whoa, and it hits in the back. Good dodge. Good dodge initially. Malfuri not seeing it coming is fine, but they were still able to move out. And that's obviously a lot of Odin time wasted. A lot of time on Odin just got wasted by them. And that's a bit of a problem. And now they don't have that ult available anymore. So they're starting to retreat here. Rest of the red team is now moving in. They have 34 stacks on the objective already. But yeah, dodging... First of all, the Blessed Shield being cleansed out and them saving, that was big. Then dodging the Hanzo arrow initially so it only connects in the back was also giving them a little bit more time and space to retreat here. But here's another play with VP. They're setting it up. They're going for Hanzo. And he's dead again. So is Brightwing. It's a double kill. It's a triple, baby. The blue team is getting absolutely farmed at this point. The Enjoyers are going through them like hot butter through cheese. 13 kills to 4. And this is only Blaze surviving. This might actually be game right here. We're only 14 minutes into the game, so the death timers aren't really that high. But given the fact that they are already burning the hit points on the keep down before the Punisher is even arriving, indicates already that the core is going to lose a couple of hit points there. If they can get a... Oh, the Punisher jump! Yep. They're hoping to get also some more damage in, but yeah, that is first of all, Hanzo back in 4 seconds. So they're trying to go for the core here. Punisher is doing some work, but the heroes are now slowly starting to come back. They want to get the kill. Junkrat is low, but the core is also losing hit points quickly. Junkrat is gone, but the core is at 40, 30, 20 hit points. That's the 2-0 lead for the Enjoyers as they lock in another victory against DDX. GG. Map number 3. So, it is match point. The Enjoyers today absolutely on a roll. They are crushing it here. We have D.Va banned again, but the red team is really just on a tear. These guys have been winning they've won now 5 maps in a row, including the previous series. Zeratul gets banned. I don't blame them at all. Zeratul had such a big impact in both of the games that they played that it doesn't shock me whatsoever that he gets banned out. The question is, of course, is that the tool that gets you back into this? Because now the blue team is down 2 maps, which means if you want to win the series, you have to win 2 in a row. That isn't impossible. It's been done before. But it seems like the Enjoyers are in pretty good shape today. Now DDX had great moments throughout all of the games, but can they now really win 3 maps in a row? Can they win 1 map in a row? Maybe it's going to be a 3-0 victory and the Enjoyers are qualifying directly for the playoffs now. We have Dehaka again for Richu. The map choice was made by DDX, so as the loser of the previous map, they had the choice whether they wanted to go for map choice or whether they wanted to go for first pick per ban. They clearly decided that they wanted to play on Garden of Terror. And now we have the Panda and Muradin. Virgil's Chen was banned out earlier against him. Now he has a chance to play him here. And I am definitely here for this game. DDX, they think they can still turn this around. They're banning Zeratul. They're picking some of their comfort picks here. Up against them. Oh, Brightwing and Falstad. Triple global. Okay, so we could technically see a very different approach from the Enjoyers now than what we've seen on previous games. 3 globals? That is giving Fnatic vibes. Sky Temple, if you know what I'm talking about. Mid-season brawl, Fnatic, Sky Temple, triple global, and yeah. Can play around your opponent. We'll see if it works out for them. Greymane gets banned. But I'm looking at this and I'm thinking that DDX, first of all, they kind of get what they want here. With Chen, with Muradin locked in, they want to jump in very aggressively. D.Va and Sylvanas banned out, obviously for them a little bit annoying, but still, they're going up against the triple global now and they have to just think about how do we deal with this. What are we now going to do in order to turn this one? And they go for Rega and Cassia. So Rega's going to help with camp clear. You have the lightning shield that you can use. And then Cassia on top of that. Over on the right side, we get the Enjoyers with Arian and Mopsy, or the final 2 picks. The main tank, of course, still. And we need a bit more damage. Falstad won't be enough to win the game for them. But they have a macro element now. A big macro element. Chromie and Joanna. Alright. Jojo's in. Jojo together with the Dehaka. And then we get Chromie for some range damage here. Chromie is actually an interesting choice. Personally, looking at it, I did not expect Chromie to be taken here. Let's see what she can pull off for the team. But with Garden of Terror being our 3rd map and our first match point, we now have the final pick. And it is Abathur. Fat Illidan with Abathur support. Alright. Garden of Terror, ladies and gentlemen. The slug is in the house. Let's see if Abathur, if the king, is going to be able to turn it around for DDX. Match point number 1. DDX is down 2 maps and they're starting on the left side of Garden of Terror in blue with Lopaka on Abathar. It is slug time. The bird would love nothing more than eat a couple of worms today. But we have Dead Inside on Cassia. We get Shizakid on Muradin. Danazovsky on Rega. And Virgil on Chen. Fat Illidan is indeed in the house. On the right side of the map, the red team, the Enjoyers, with Makotzel on Brightwing. Etrex playing Chromie. We got Mopsy on Johanna. Richu again on Dehaka. And Arian is rounding out the global draft with Falstad. So a lot of globals, and if they at any point see Abathar either appear on the map or just sniff out where exactly he's positioned, we could see some globals really start to hunt him down. But, well, down at the bottom of the map, Mopsio currently trying to protect Chromie, and, well, that is a save from Brightwing. But that was already a very aggressive little play from DDX, and they are trying to get their kills here. So, yeah, they want to dominate this. They're coming in with aggression. They have Abathar support in those situations as well for some extra damage, and they're going to try to just completely run the show on this one. Build on Abathar doesn't come as a shock either. So on level 1, we have pressurized glands for Abby. And Chen is going to be the one that is really jumping on them as this game continues. He's called Fat Illidan for a reason. Let him eat cake. Down here, Donazovsky now. Also getting a little bit low. Currently sitting at 50% of its HP. And going for a shield build. In case they haven't scouted out yet. So we got Stormcaller here. But, well, while the blue team is very aggressive and moving around the map now in the hopes of getting a few kills, their opponent is just trying to keep the lane experience up, trying to push the lanes out a little bit, attempting, of course, to use the globals as best as they can. So far, there's not really a whole lot that they can do in this situation. But as the map opens up a little bit, there will be more. And now that we have mercenary camps up, this is something that teams are both going to start making plays for. The 1v1 at the top lane is still locked in. There's always a bit of a tricky one when you're playing against Abathar. You cannot trust the 1v1. Because Abathar is always going to start and help out. And now, 5 versus 3 at the bottom. This could be the first kill, and it is. That's the problem when you're going up against this many globals. They just start to turn every single fight into a numbers advantage. Very similar to what I just said about with Abathar. Abathar can do very similar things. He can just shift the balance on a lane. And this is what the Enjoyers just did by creating a numbers advantage as they move their globals in. So they're going to try and use those cooldowns a lot as the game continues. But it resulted in the first kill for the red team. And a lead in experience now for them as well. Muradin is jumping in again. We talked a bit about how strong Chen can be with some Abathar support. But the problem is that Muradin is also an absolute menace once that he is supported by a symbiote. And up here at the top, big damage coming in. Jojo knows perfectly that Chen is currently on the way, but that is the gate taking damage. And in addition to that, of course, one tower already destroyed. So it's a small couple of advantages that are slowly being built up by the Enjoyers, but they're definitely starting to get them here. Now, nothing to write home about yet. It's also noteworthy that the blue team was the one to get the first objective. They got the first tribute. Seed, sorry. Yeah, Tomb of the Garden Curse once again at his best. Chromie, a little bit of a death wish here every now and then. Also Mopsio, just walking straight into this. It's like, they're already safe. You don't have to fully walk into 4 heroes. You're fine, dude. Now, a lot of this is obviously going to change in terms of dynamic once that level 10 abilities are available and Abathar gets his copy. Seems like the blue team is trying to steal a few of the camps away. Level 7 is available on both sides. Mule is up. And, yep, they want those Siege Giants. Falstad is gonna fly. Chromie is already on their way too, but the Arca is low. Pops the Essence. The bird is in. Gets a really good connect against Rega. And Rega is low. Way too low for comfort, but it's Muradin that gets hit next. He jumps out. They might still be able to get a kill here. Nah, the shots from Chromie just don't reach far enough. Falstad wasn't willing to engage in this situation, and they get out. But this could have been way worse for the blue team. Not only did they lose the Siege Giant camp, but they could actually have lost the hero here. Yeah, Fawcett's still sitting up at the top. Dehaka has now started to move down to the bottom of the map. So they're using their globals actually quite nicely to always create numbers advantages when it's possible. Only one kill in the game though. Only one single kill so far, not more than that. Dehaka's coming in. Yeah, they want these kills. They see Muradin and they kill Muradin. They knew that he was already on cooldown on his jump, and then they used the opportunity right away to get a quick kill on the main tank of DDX, and that's now 2 kills to 0. So these little plays that they're executing are actually working quite nicely for them. I love the way that they are playing the macro game against them with creating number advantages. Now, this early in the game, the advantage that they get through that is not that insane yet. They're obviously pulling a bit ahead in experience, and they're also starting to gain some momentum just in general. But you have to do way more than that in order to win the game. So we'll see how they are going to use that as the game continues, and specifically what's going to happen once the level 10 abilities are. Yeah, Brightwing gets away. You gotta give it to the blue team. They're relentless. They're absolutely relentless in the aggression that they're trying to show here. Shen is now jumping in too. You have to be just really careful that they're not over-committing to any of this, because every time they move in too deep, they get punished for it. And the Haka still down at the bottom of the map, gets another wave for the team. Level 10 abilities are now all ready. That gives us next to the slowing sand, also the blessed shield of course. But the blue team will get their copy. And this is when the team fights are really going to explode, and DDX will be willing to engage into even more of them. Keck plays, that first and foremost is going to be big. And already a bit of a Keck play on Chromie. She's fine. The Gust gets used as the disengage tool, and they're moving away here. Abatha actually taunting Dehaka for just a second at the bottom of the map a bit. But yeah, Dehaka fully knows where it is, and he gets the lick out. So yeah, they're trying to break through the wall here. And if Abatha doesn't quickly move away, he is gonna fall victim to Dehaka. Dinosaurs also like worms. But Dehaka also should probably not stay too long that deep out on the lane, or he's gonna get attacked. But for now, it's actually just an interrupt on the seed. Coming in from behind here, Brightwing still up at the top. Falls dead, looking for the angle for potential Gust. Gets attacked quickly. Arya needs to be careful and uses the gate again to escape. Double Rhaegar play. They go for the sustain with double Rhaegar as Abatha went for the copy. Here comes the Keck and falls dead. Does not have Gust. 5 seconds. Mopsio's trying to get away, but they go for Rhaegar and they can't kill him in time. He gets the Ancestral through. Falstad is the one that jumps back out, gets stunned again, uses Gust as he comes back online. Holy cow, once more, the entire series already. It's just time and time again, these escapes that shouldn't really be possible here. Danazovsky with the attempt to channel the seed again, he can't make it happen. They go for Muradin, he pops Avatar, Falstad becomes the target once more, but it's Dehaka that dies. Dehaka is gone and Chromie will fall as well. Here's DDX with the double kill. Chromie is gone. They missed the kill on Rhaegar, and that was just the end. If they could have gotten the Rhaegar kill, that would be a different situation. But as is, it didn't happen, and that was the moment where DDX slowly started to turn the game around. Bottom of the map, towers are being destroyed right now. Even talents, even levels for the two teams, and Chromie and Dehaka are both back to business right now. The ideal fight for the enjoyers is one where somebody gets jumped, it's a 3 versus 3, they move globals in, make it a 5 versus 3. They're just a few seconds faster than the opponent that also started their rotation, and then they use the numbers advantage. Those plays is the best thing that can actually happen to them. That and of course trying to just use globals in general to push the lanes out. They have to deal with Abatha and Mule, but there is a lot that they can do with those tools at their disposal. Now, another issue that they're definitely going to have is the play up at the top. Because that's the third seed, and this could be Garden Terrors right there. So, yeah, it's potentially time for Garden Terrors to kick in. And, well, at this point, there's Chromie dead again. And this is going to get Garden Terrors for the red team. The idea was to delay a little bit and then make some plays there, but did not work that way. So now they have to defend properly. Yeah, and I don't know. This could get a little bit tricky for them. So right now the mid lane is the one that gets assailed first, as you can see here. So this is going to lose them at least one fort. Top side also, bot lane probably 2. Copy is already eliminated, so that was a nice little move against Abathur to shut that aggression down, or at least mitigate it a little bit. But they need to do a whole lot more than that. They're getting Slowing Sands out, trying to get a quick hit in against Rhaegar, which also didn't work. But they're losing ground, and they're losing it quickly. They're losing experience too. Well, not losing it, but they're losing ground compared to the blue team. At the top, the fort is about to be destroyed as well. It's very... I think this one they might actually be able to save, but they lost the one at the bottom of the map here. Mirrodin is now moving in. Shizakid is on the move. And Falstad... Oh, cancel the fly. They're willing to fight this if they have to. Instantly, we get the keg again. And Chen has to actually keg out. So yeah, they saved the top side fort. Bot lane though, there is still some action going strong as one Garden Terror still lives. Damage output, we have 32,000 for Cassia, 27,000 for Abathur. Chromie has 26,000 herself. But after that we get Jojo as the second highest damage dealer on the red team. Next big fight, they want Mopsio, and he barely gets away. He's not out of the fight just yet though. Gets attacked again, Mirrodin wants to kill. Mopsio is somehow still able to get out of this. I don't understand. How are they getting these kills sometimes? And how are some of these guys surviving? Dehaka kills Mirrodin. Now they're trying to chase the rest. It's the Rhaegar copy again, so lots of sustain there. As Dehaka is trying to come in, pops the essence. They're attempting moves for Cassia. But this is just wild. 15 versus 15, 3 kills versus 3. The lead in experience still goes to DDX. But some of the stuff that is happening here is just absolutely bananas. I mean, seriously. At the bottom of the map, another camp claimed, and they're going to get level 16 in a moment. But, yeah. That is just getting nasty. I can't believe that Mopsio just juked through them time and time again. And it was Mirrodin that died shortly after. That was wild. So, up at the top, always Mule from Rhaegar, of course. Now we have the adrenaline boost for even more movement speed here. The 16 talents are available for both teams. And they're stealing a camp away. And they get the drag! Now they can go for the kill. Do they have the Blessed Shield? They... too much is missing here. Self-Ancestral. They have to... That's the full 5-man right now. They're trying to focus on Mirrodin for a moment. But I don't think... Nah, he gets the Stormbolt. I think if the drag connects here, he's dead. But the Stormbolt was there a little bit before. Now they go for Cassia, though. And damn, she just face-checked that bush and gets murdered. Oh, they thought they could chase him down, but they were waiting. And that is the end of Cassia. At the bottom of the map, the fort also is now getting slowly healed up, but the team wants it. They're taking the mule down quickly. And this is going to spell out, very likely, the end of the bottom fort. They're trying to save it. They might actually be able to do it, but the seed has already been grabbed. Cassia isn't here. Top side, this fort is also in trouble, so it seems like... Falstad. Right wing is helping out. Gust is ready. And the birdie is still in trouble, but the fort has now been destroyed. The problem is they're losing also a fort at the top lane. So it's a trade, essentially, but they might still be able to get a couple of kills here, and they do. They take Mirrodin down. But this one is going to be eliminated now, of course, as well. So it's a little bit of a weird one. On the one hand, you take a fort down. On the other hand, you also lose one, the one that you still had standing. So in the middle of the map, the wall gets slowly destroyed here. It's again a 5 versus 4. This just keeps happening to DDX. They are staggering deaths right now. Cassia dying, then just as she's about to come back, Mirrodin falls as well. So then it's again a 4 versus 5. And this allows the Enjoyers to catch up in experience, and to make matters a bit worse, there is a seed now coming up. And if they get another kill or just the seed, that would be fantastic. They go for the keg again. Ballsy play, Chen. That was something. Ancestral is up, granted. Falstad could actually gust to guarantee them the seed. If he gusts, they're getting it for sure. Doesn't right now, but it's grabbed anyways. Garden Terrors. There's the chance. 5 versus 5 back up on the map. But now they want to take a couple of the structures down, of course. The Blessed Shield missing again. This actually is a bit of a problem for Mopsio here. A few of those connects really didn't go well for them. Chromie again, Assail. Gust already used. Double Mirrodin this time as they have the copy in. Mirrodin talking about him. Nearly down. Red team on the run. Chromie about to go down. Big ball of lightning here. Everybody's low and running. Chromie just boosts away out of the fight and is able to escape as the blue team is losing structures. Specifically at the top lane, the fort gets attacked, and down here we have even the keep taking some damage. But, of course, they chase them off, at least for now. And they have to actually kill some structures first. They have to destroy them. And they're trying to do that at the top as we speak. Falset is flying in, looks for a Gust angle. Well, actually he doesn't have Gust, so he just comes in from behind. I'm not quite sure if he knew that too. Mirrodin goes for the birdie. Ancestral is already out. Chromie is down. And Falstad committed honorable Sudoku and bites the dust too. That's a triple kill all of a sudden. I'm not sure what happened here. That's 3 heroes down. Guys, this is a 5-man team wipe. 5-man wipe as the entire team is gone, and I honestly don't understand what exactly the idea was. That was such a weird fight. It looked, especially Falstad, looked like they thought they can go for some kind of Gust angle and force a fight there. Now they lose a keep, maybe the game. Level 20 is ready for DDX, and I'm not sure why. I honestly don't understand why this just happened. So, yeah, DDX is going to win this one. That's a victory for the blue team. Match point number 1 successfully defended as the blue team takes down the core on Garden of Terror. And we are going to game number 4 of the series. Nicely done, GG, and well played. Game number 4. Well, DDX putting a point on the board. I have to admit that I still am not 100% certain what exactly happened in that last fight. That felt very much like a self-inflicted wound. I don't think they had to go that heavily into that battle, and they got the entire team wiped and lost the game right there. So it was a little bit crazy, honestly. And also Falstad. Falstad flew in like he wanted to gust them into a battle. That's how he flew in. But he was on cooldown on his gust, so he couldn't do anything there. So either he didn't realize that he was on cooldown, which I don't really think happened, or... yeah. But either way, this backfired massively for the Enjoyers. They were desperately trying to force a fight at the top that they didn't even need. And then they got destroyed, chased down, the entire team killed, the core destroyed as well. So... now things obviously changing heavily. We're going to Cursed Hollow, and we have Zeratul again banned, so seems like the blue team is still going to be sticking with that particular ban, given what happened in game number 1 and game number 2. Chen also gets eliminated, so they don't want to deal with him. And interestingly enough, we have Dehaka also banned out. So that instantly begs for me the question, what exactly is Richo going to play? But Mirrodin as our first pick. So Mopsio is going for Mirrodin again. It's something that he feels very comfortable on. Sylvanas and D.Va. Yeah, this is obviously the 2 heroes that he just now led through the draft. They were essentially banned, I believe, in the last 2 games, maybe even 3. But both of them get now immediately locked in as the blue team finally has a chance to play them. Now, Virgil has been playing D.Va quite a bit. This is one of his go-to heroes, apparently. Really a comfort pick for him. And he's strong on that. Now, we'll see if this is going to be enough to force game number 5 in this series. But we get a Hogger and we get Brightwing. Yeah, I'm not sure what the Enjoyers are thinking here right now. But I said it before, in this tournament, these 2 teams have now faced off against each other 5 times. 2 maps in the winner bracket and 3 now in the losers bracket. And at this point, we have DDX with a 3-2 score. So that's essentially the score between the 2 of them as we're heading into game number 6. Yeah, and Greymane gets banned again. That's actually starting to be a little bit of a thing on the 3rd ban for them. They want to eliminate Greymane here. They don't want to deal with him again either. Now, Anubra gets banned. Don't want to have the dive. But yeah, if DDX wins this, then it would be 4-2 against the Enjoyers. Would be a pretty nice track record just in general to make it into the 5th and final map. It could be a reverse sweep. They could pull it off. They've done their homework. They've made the first step already. We get Diablo, we get Rhaegar, but of course, as you already know right now, this is match point number 2. So for the Enjoyers, it's another opportunity to move on to the next round, to the playoffs. And if DDX loses here, then they have another chance in the last chance qualifier. But there you're also up against some really tough opponents, so dicey. Tychus gets played on Cursed Hollow, and we get Maiev. Maiev, always great when she gets played. A good Maiev player can absolutely destroy you, and that's something that the Enjoyers have already proven in the past. So this is a dangerous comp that's being played here. For some reason, I just want Tychus with an auto attack build. I know that it's not the best one, but I always kind of enjoy it when we have that. And talking about auto attacks, we now have Sergeant Hammer on the left side for the blue team. Ladies and gentlemen, match point number 2. We're heading to Cursed Hollow. Game on! This is the 4th map between DDX and the Enjoyers. DDX finally putting a point onto the board as we're heading into Cursed Hollow. Over on the left side, it is Lopaka on Sylvanas. We got Dead Inside with Sergeant Hammer. Shizakid on Diablo. Danazovsky on Rhaegar. And Virgil, Full Metal on Diva. On the right side of the map, Makotzel on Brightwing for the red team. The Enjoyers hoping to close out the series here, of course. Arion is playing Maiev. We got Richu on Hogga. Mopsio with Muradin. And Atrax is going for Tychus with the typical grenade build that we're getting here. So, we're good to go, and this is going to be another chance for the red team to finish the series, and another shot for DDX to force game number 5, and potentially pull off a reverse sweep, which would of course be pretty incredible if they can make that happen. Now, with that said, we're having, down at the bottom of the map, a little bit of a trap set up against Sergeant Hammer already. Muradin with a jump, Stormbolt connects, bye-bye Sergeant Hammer. The tank just got hammered. So, good job. Mopsio and his team with first blood here. Nice little trap that they set up. And now they can work that tower HP down. As we have Diva moving in, pushing them back, taking over for the Sergeant. Hogga, apparently AFK for just a second. Doesn't even go for the camp. Is apparently a little bit unsure on what exactly to do here. As we have Maiev sitting up at the top lane and defending against the little attack that came their way. Okay, as Hogga is pogging, this is going to be a bit of an invade, and I think we have the team starting to make their way into the fight to help out here. Brightwing has already moved in. They go for Rhaegar, and Danazovsky gets killed. That is the end of Rhaegar. The camp is also taken, and now they're even going for Diablo. Another Stormbolt, the body block, and it's a triple baby. 3 kills to 0 against DDX. Ouch. That one hurts. Yep, that's 3 kills to 0. You didn't take your own... This is always a thing. If you don't take your own camp, and then your opponent gets invaded, but they can defend, then it's always a bit tricky. So we have more camps claimed by the Enjoyers, more mercenaries on the lane. We have the extra kills for the red team too, and that lead in experience is of course pretty massive right now. So, nice job by them. They've done a great one here, and the only question is, can they maintain the momentum? Or is this going to be brought back by DDX, specifically when Sergeant Hammer has her mobility talent on level 7. Muradin with Master Assassin now. Tychus. Yeah, Muradin with Master Assassin. Let's go! That would have been a fun one. But yeah, so we had Master Assassin in for Tychus, obviously looking for the attack speed increase that he gets, the passive, which also applies to Odin. It's going to be a big advantage for them. But good start in the game for the red team. Now, Tribute number 1 is spawning. Let's see if they are able to lock this one in. Muradin is already trying to anchor this a bit. And Diablo is saying hello, eats the Stormbolt, and then bam, here comes the damage. They're trying to chase Tychus down, but the attack is still there. Tribute has already been successfully channeled by the red team, and now they're just simply disengaging from this. Another Stormbolt Connect though for Muradin. Quick hit against D.Va, but she's still able to move out of this. And over here at the top, we have Arya now coming in. Technically, Brightwing could portal up and then help out with this. I mean, honestly, this might actually be exactly what happens, but they decide that they are going to move back and Hearth out. But that also leaves the bot lane a little bit exposed, and the attack is starting to come in here as well. So yeah, bot lane aggression is slowly coming together for them, taking some of the towers out. 7 on both sides now. And Muradin has been taking over against Sergeant Hammer for now. Tank against tank. But of course the problem with that is that we now have the mobility for the Sergeant, and that's going to be pretty helpful. Second tribute, decent position for the red team, so the Enjoyers are likely going to walk away with a 2-0 lead on the objective. Yeah. So this should be an easy one for them to channel. But nice damage now. The problem that the red team has is that they're now going up against 2 heroes that are very good at pushing for structures. You have the Siege up Sergeant Hammer, a little bit of a slow approach, but also very difficult to take on. And then you have Sylvanas on the other side, a lot more mobile in the way that she approaches it. But with that, they can do a whole lot to try and take a couple of structures out. A little bit of body blocking, but eventually Hogga makes it past it. Now that Maiev is saying hello, on the other hand, they might be able to do some damage here. Sergeant Hammer talking about damage. At the top lane was attacked again, but was able to get out. So Muradin and Tychus were not able to get the kill this time. Yeah. It's starting to get a little bit better for the blue team, though. We talked initially that the 3 kills against them were an issue and that there also was an experience lead. But now when you look at the minimap, you can see that the top lane gets attacked very aggressively. At the bottom, the fort is already suffering damage. So they are right now doing a pretty decent job getting ahead in structures and making their play. We have 2 tributes to 0, and now the next one is spawning. The blue team will have to fight for this, or they are going to face off against a curse, which they, I suppose, are going to try and avoid. But an early level 10 could actually help the red team to make a play here. And they have level 10. What about the channel? Is anybody actually moving in on this? This is a half level that they currently are holding. And Brightwing could still portal up. And does. So they want this. They want that fight. D.Va isn't here. This is a 5 versus 4. They go for Diablo, and Diablo is gone. Itrax makes it. No, Sylvanas wants to kill. Jumps in, doesn't get it, might actually be killed herself. Sergeant Hammer is low, gets blocked again and also eliminated. 10 versus 10 now, but this is a curse and they just lost 2 heroes. They lost 3. Rhaegar is dead as well. Lopaka was able to also get the kill on Rhaegar, and oh boy, now DDX is losing a lot. They're trying to get the fort at the bottom of the map with Virgil, but Hogga is on his way and is going to hold the experience at the bot lane. And is, of course, also pushing D.Va back. So this is an early game curse. And Beth... Oh, they are safe! And Tychus gets out. But Muradin is ready. Ah, well, he misses the Stormbolt, though. Went in with Haymaker and knocks them back out. But this topside fort is going to fall. As I said before, this is a very, very early curse. So death timers are low. And there's not that much momentum yet. But, of course, they're going to lose structures here. And this is an easy hit on the top side fort. They're trying to go for Sylvanas. I think Muradin is going a little bit too deep if you ask me. But they have a chance here. So they're coming in. This connects actually. She jumped into the disc. But is so far away that they can't close that gap. 1 fort has been destroyed. Hogga has been doing a bit more down at the bottom of the map and even proxied a wave. But the fort has not been taken out yet. It doesn't change the fact that we have 6 kills to 0. 6 kills to nothing. The blue team came close a couple of times, but they haven't gotten a single kill yet. Now, the bot lane is suffering. That fort will likely fall to the minion waves. If not right now, then soon TM. The level 13 talent that the red team is now locking in is also, of course, helping. Haymaker and... Oh, the Ancestral. That's the discount on D.Va, but that got spicy. Now, at the bottom of the map, the fort for the blue team is still standing, but I don't think for much longer. Odin gets used. They're trying to force the fight again and tether that one out. There's also bosses up on the map. We're 8 minutes in and nobody has taken that yet. Diablo. Uh-oh. Yep, he's eating a lot of damage. Gets tethered back in. So does Sergeant Hammer. There's Shockwave. And bye-bye Hammer. Bye-bye Diablo. It's another double kill for the red team. At this point, they need to go and get themselves some bosses. And they do. Sylvanas is already hearthing back out. Make sure that she doesn't get attacked. Top side, D.Va is pushing for the fort. Down at the bottom of the map, this one is of course going to fall. But this should be a double boss play, or they need to push this a bit farther than they already have. D.Va taking out potential. D.Va is going to take out that fort at the top. Structurally, the blue team isn't doing too badly. I'm not saying they're great, but given... I mean, look at this. It's 8 kills, 9 kills to 0. But on structures, they are still looking fairly alright in what they're taking down. I mean, if you look at the kill count alone, you wouldn't have thought that they have one fort down at 50% HP and the other one at the top has actually been taken apart. So there's a 2-level advantage right now. The bottom keep wall is taking some damage and they're really pinning them down. They're taking the camps away from them too. But the red team still needs to do a little bit more here. They need to get to level 16. They should get another boss. Work around the tribute. Just really dominate as much as they can. And then try and take some of those keeps out. Because that's going to be the eventual goal for them. Tribute is spawning in 8 seconds. And it is technically even talents. But they are letting that tribute slide from the looks of it. They're not engaging into that. They're trying to somehow reset here. Actually, D.Va... Yeah, Bunny Hop and is not getting anything here. So that's 4 tributes in a row now for Tychus. So, with that, we now have 29,000 damage on Tychus, 19,000 on Sylvanas. I'm a bit surprised that they didn't go for a double boss play yet. And now just a question of whether or not with level 16 talent advantages they're now making that move, or if they're waiting a bit longer. At least sniffing around the area a bit, and I think they're going to take this. But it will also result in them losing another fort at the bottom of the map. So these continuous rotations of DDX, they're kind of working for them. Tribute here, then again, is going to be likely claimed by the red team as well. But that's 2 forts now down. Despite the fact that it's 9 kills to 0, the only advantage in structures for the Enjoyers is 1 fort that they hold in the middle of the map. But of course, getting closer to another curse is also pretty big. So that's another huge one for them. And this is going to be a freebie. And boss has to be defended against at the top. And I think the team in red is very likely going to try and push this a little bit more. They have a level 16 talent, so why wouldn't they? They find Diablo. Try to go immediately for a kill here. But the Wailing Arrow. Whoa, Brightwing somehow survives. Here comes the explosion. They make it. It's insane. How did everybody survive? Sylvanas essentially dead. Half the heroes on the red team basically gone. And they somehow make it through. Absolutely bonkers. Now they're moving into the middle to try and at least take the wall out after the attack at the top has essentially failed. But damn, that was something. And still not a kill for the blue team. And now we have a tribute. And they have to decide how they want to play this. They don't get level 16 in time. Well, 14 seconds. Where can they get XP? There's a little bit here at the top that they can claim, but not much more than that. So this would be another curse. This would be curse number 2 against DDX. Honestly, at this point, if the Enjoyers get a second curse here, it is really their game to lose at some point. You are taking the lead over and over again. You're getting the second objective against the opponent. You can start to go for structures here, and you should. And they're instantly trying to go for Sergeant Hammer. So a little bit of extra damage already done. The keep is taking damage as the entire team collapses onto it. Tether is out. Here comes Odin. The disc on Diablo. And at the bottom of the map, there's a giant camp and also a big minion wave pushing in. They need to do some work here. They need to get at least the keep destroyed. Maybe even more than that. They go for the keep in the middle. Sylvanas is trying to defend down here at the bottom of the map as the wall is already getting opened up here. And Sergeant Hammer pushing into the Sergeant. Always tricky. But they do what they got to. And yeah, bot lane is amassing. The keep is going to take damage soon. Sylvanas is just moving in. Without her, they would have lost so much more already. But Sylvanas is trying to stop this whenever she has an opportunity to do so. She burns the waves down. Here comes the shockwave. They go for Diablo. Ancestral saves the day. BFG Rega gets wrecked, but so did Muradin. Muradin is dead too. They get another grenade in. They have not taken that keep yet. The keep is not gone. Now they have the damage and they can connect it. Up at the top, another wall falls. Down here, the keep has also taken some extra damage and is now down to roughly 60% of its HP. But this all has still happened with 2 complete objectives for the Enjoyers. The one really good thing for DDX is basically that they have a team that is very, A, difficult to push into, and B, has tons of wave clear. It's difficult to push into Sergeant Hammer with the entire team, and then you have Sylvanas that burns down the minions whenever they approach through the curse. So that is really helping them. Down here, as the boss has now spawned, they're still double checking on whether or not the blue team is going to try and go for the boss. Maiev is sitting tight here, and the team is indeed going to try and make that play. And the red team could attempt to deal with it, but I think they're just going to accept this one right now. They want level 20. This is also the main reason why we have DDX going for it in the first place. They know that level 20 is going to be the next thing they have to deal with, and once the level 20 talents are in, you are going to suffer a lot if your opponent can take a boss as well. So boss is taken, we'll push through the bot lane. I don't think they're going to defend there too much. And instead, we're now having with the level 20 talents a push up at the top. And they're going to try for another keep here. Well, they're also going to try for apparently a couple of... They tried to Haymaker him! And didn't quite get that done. The disc is out, but that would have been a neat play. Just got interrupted on the last moment, but this could have been a pretty cool one. So they have big aggression at the top with the Siege Giants. Keeps taking damage again, but if they want to do something with level 20, they would have to push now, but they are trying to defend their own keep at the bottom of the map, which of course in return also gives DDX time to get their own Storm Talents. So there's that. Mirrodin is still anchoring the tribute. I mean, it's one of the things that the Enjoyers definitely want to do here. They want to prevent DDX from getting a tribute themselves, or curse. 46,000 damage from Tychus. 32,000 for their opponents. And yep, tribute is going to be channeled in a second, and it looks like it's going to be a freebie. Yeah, nobody's going to interrupt this. There's the disc again. Diablo slowly getting burned down. Diablo, and he's gone. Dibbles is dead and lost all his souls again. They didn't have level 20 at the time. Now the move towards the boss. They can try to go for it here. But they also have D.Va. D.Va could be eliminated too. They're sitting tight. Sylvanas. The Stormbolt. Nope, they doesn't get it. Big grenade though. The tether broken. That would have likely been the end of it. The disc on Rhaegar. They're all just starting to slowly fall back here again. But this got scary for the blue team. For sure. Hogger hearthing back out. Hogger already hearthing back out. Boss, they might have to go for it here. Tribute spawning at the bottom of the map now. And they go for the boss. They're trying to roll the dice. Yeah, this could be a problem. Odin is ready. Big red button is a massive tool to push into. They don't want that. Boss gets leashed. The fight on the other hand. My turn against D.Va right now. D.Va gets attacked. They move out of the explosion. Mirrodin is jumping away. And the tribute at the bottom of the map is now getting ready. Mirrodin already on the move. Could technically try and go for it if they want to do that. Oh, they go for the boss right in front of them. Right in front of them. Stormbolt doesn't connect. Boss leashes again. The entire battle is now centering it around the top lane. Yep, and they lose Odin. And they might just give that boss up. This, by the way, is 3 catapults. One is griefing. 2 catapults on the core. And Mirrodin goes for the next tribute. So that's 2 tributes to 0. And the boss at the top, they could still fight for it. They're actually trying to. Yeah. Boss gets leashed again. And they're going to be fine for now. Sylvanas is slowly coming back in. But now they have Rhaegar. Rhaegar on a platter. That's a wolf with a quick ancestral. Beautiful ancestral. Very nice disc. But that's Tychus gone. That's only the 2nd kill for the blue team, but they get it. Mirrodin is about to jump out, might actually be chased down here. Stormbolt misses, but Mopsio is fine. The problem, of course, is that now the boss is finally going to be taken by DDX. They finally pull it off. 1 boss for them, and they get their first tribute. This one can't be snuck in by the red team. Big wave at the bottom. Somebody needs to deal with this. Sylvanas is likely going to Hearth. Might be a little bit late, honestly, if she wants to get the tribute first. Ah, well, one more minion wave. It's going to be fine. Oh, yep. There's the Hearth. There's the channel. It's going to be an interrupt. Maiev is in the middle. Lopaka is going to interrupt this. Rest of the team is already moving in. Mirrodin is jumping out. Boss at the top. It's getting a little bit sneaky. People are trying to make some clever and sneaky plays. And there's Siege Giants at the bottom of the map right now. Tigers is back in 4 seconds. Guys, this keep is going to fall. This keep's gone. Keep is gone. Core is going to get attacked soon. They're going to try and end the game here. They have to. DDX is likely going to try and end this. I don't think they can. They just lost a second keep at the bottom of the map. I don't even know why Mirrodin is engaging into this. They could defend a little bit more first. They get a rewind, but the boss is about to go down. They might not even be able to take down the top side keep. So Sergeant Hammer gets this just as the stun from Hogga is about to connect. But the bot lane, guys, the core is now gonna take damage on the blue team side. They're gonna lose hit points on the core. There's Siege Giant, there's Catapults, the mid lane is pushing, the bot lane is pushing, Ancestral is out. Lopaka is the one that has to retreat and does. But a couple of shots are still gonna be fired here, I think. So, possession on the Catapult, that's a big one. But now they're getting chased at the top. And if they lose heroes now, then it's another disaster. So, dead inside, might also be dead on the outside in a moment. It's Diablo that is actually trying to get away here. Sylvanas is on the move, but is she too late? The explosion gets kicked out, and here comes the play for Diablo again, but a massive bailing arrow from Sylvanas. Catapults again on the lanes, they want the kills! Mirrodin jumps away, Hogga with a stun, and they survive for now. The blue team, they smell blood in the water for a second. They realize that they might just have a shot here to turn the fight around, and it didn't work. But boy, that late game is starting to get wild. 20 minutes in, this could be the second tribute. This will be likely the second tribute for the team. Mirrodin is jumping in. They want the interrupt, and they get it. They want that curse. They want to pin them down further. If they get it, here comes Odin. If they can control the space and get that tribute, it would be their third curse and likely the end of the game. Boss is actually getting triggered. They tether Diablo. Diablo is in trouble. They push back against Sergeant Hammer. Haymaker, baby! And they get the kill. Diablo, low, 40 hit points and survives. Diablo survives with 40 hit points. Sylvanas with a double kill. Sylvanas gets the double. Rhaegar, Brightwing, all gone. The red team on the run again with a few remaining heroes that they still have here. And Maiev dies too. Mirrodin is the only survivor. They get the tribute, but what can they now do in that situation? Mirrodin is the only one that made it. Insane! This started with Sergeant Hammer being killed, and then shortly after we had the death of Rhaegar as well. But a big bunny hop play from D.Va. Virgil on this hero is honestly dominant. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Virgil made some massive plays for the team, and then Sylvanas just cleaned them up. Mirrodin, yeah, with the Stormbolt. They're trying to get some action in on this. But Mopsio is just buying time. Mopsio is buying time, but I think this boss is going to be taken. We might still go to game number 5. We might still go to the 5th map in all of this. 2 lanes are pushing massively against the blue team, but they are always able to just do that tiny little bit more here. Crazy. Good stuff. But, well, who's going to be able to win this game? Are we going to map number 5, or is this going to be the final map? 10 stacks, by the way, for Tychus. 10 stacks for Tychus. Boss at the bottom of the map now, and here comes the tribute. They're trying to wrap around once again, and they are afraid of a backdoor. They are afraid of a backdoor play. So, yep, they're slowly coming in. And talking about backdoor plays, yep, there it is. There's the backdoor play. They have to stop the Hearths. They're trying to stop as many heroes from Hearthing as they possibly can, but Brightwing is dead. They might just lose the game here. Maiev is dead too. Too many heroes made it back. They're gonna lose Hogga. They're losing Tigers. They're losing the game here. I don't think... Well, are they? They might still make it. Sylvanas is gone. All of a sudden, they're winning it. The curse, 30%, 20, they're taking it. Mopsio, 4%. It's a no. It's a 1%. You got to be shitting me. What? 1% on the core. And now it's going to be a win for the blue team. Not even a minion didn't attack it any longer. We're going to game number 5. You gotta be joking. If they would have just attacked it once more, one auto attack was all that was missing here. Insane. We're going the distance. Game 5 is coming up next. This is crazy. What on earth? Oh my god, I can't believe this is actually happening. Guys, we're going to game number 5. DDX wins Cursed Hollow. GG and well played. Game number 5, 1% on the core, and they couldn't clutch it out there. So many things, honestly, where in hindsight you think it could have gone a little bit different. You stop a portal and all of a sudden you win the game. One more hero comes in with an auto attack, you win the game. They initially, when they actually went for the backdoor, I thought, okay, there's no way this is going to happen. They lost the first hero way too quickly. Too many heroes portaled out. Some were, of course, left around the tribute in an attempt to stop those portals. And I was like, yeah, this is not happening. It's a 3 versus 3. They can't go for the core. And all of a sudden, that thing loses hit points so damn quickly. And I'm like, holy hell, they're actually pulling it off. And then seeing it fail with a single percentage point on the core. Insanity. Absolutely crazy stuff. So the Enjoyers, they have the play there. They think, hey, we got this. They pretty much dominated a huge chunk of this game. And then they lose it towards the end with DDX just turning it around. And I think it was very symptomatic for what we've seen in this entire series. 2-0 advantage for the Enjoyers. And then now we're finding ourselves in map number 5. And the final map, or the 4th map, we have a huge lead for the Enjoyers. And somehow DDX just claws their way slowly back, piece by piece, and is able to force the 5th and final map of the series. This map, Tomb of the Spider Queen, is now going to determine which team makes it into the playoffs and which team is out of the group and will have to go through the last chance group, through the last chance qualifier, which is honestly not an easy feat by any means. So we'll see who's going to take it. We have the first pick and first ban for DDX, so that means that the Enjoyers decided the map. They lost the last one, so they went over. They wanted map choice over first pick, first ban. We have Chromie plus Murden now for the red team. And on the side of DDX, obviously, we're getting Blaze as a bit of a starter here. So yeah, more insane tournaments, more insane games, honestly, guys. Once again, if you're watching this right now and you want to support the esports scene in Heroes of the Storm, as I said multiple times in the past already, you can do so at patreon.com/Khaldor. We host a lot of events and tournaments and have done so ever since Blizzard abandoned the esports scene in the game. With the recent Underdog Cup, also trying to get the grassroots growing a little bit and get all of that on the way. So oftentimes, again, the question is asked, what's the best way to support all those efforts in the stream, support more events and tournaments? And honestly, the Patreon is probably the best. There's a link in the description if you're currently watching this on YouTube, so you can check it out there. You can also just simply go to the link right over here. Big shout out to all of the supporters, by the way, that already make an effort to support the scene. Really appreciate it. We wouldn't have been able to host all of these events over the last couple of years without you guys. So big shout out and thanks a lot for the support. It's really very much appreciated. And it brings us to stuff like this crazy game right now. So now we have Tacita on the side of DDX. We have a front line with Blaze plus Diablo. So pretty hit point heavy. Richo gets his Dehaka ban. The one thing that is not banned in this game is now Zeratul. Would be pretty funny if they actually went for a Zeratul pick at this point. Don't really think that we're going to get that on Tomb of the Spider Queen, but hey, you never know. We could actually. So, yeah, here comes Malfurion. We get Leoric, and that leaves us with one final pick for Arion. But yeah, Muradin plus Leo is going to be the play here. And then on the blue team side, the final double pick for our final map. Can they pull the reverse sweep off? I mean, at this point, if you already win 2 in a row after being down 2-0, you kinda want to go all the way, right? So we get Tracer and we get Deckard Cain. The lineup is ready for DDX. They have all the momentum right now. All of the momentum. They have the opportunity to send the Enjoyers packing, at least for now, and qualify directly for the playoff. And we're going to find out now on Tomb of the Spider Queen if they can actually do that. Good damage with Tassadar and with Tracer. Here comes Genji as the final pick. Ladies and gentlemen, map number 5, Tomb of the Spider Queen. The final map in the series, and on the left side, with 2 wins under their belt now, 2 in a row, can they make it 3? It is DDX. Lopaka playing Tassadar for the team in the final map. We got Shizakid with Soul Shield for Diablo. Virgil, after his stellar performance with Diva on Cursed Hollow, he's now playing Blaze for the team. Dead Inside with Tracer, and we got Danazovsky on Deckard Cain. Over on the right side of the map, the red team, definitely a bit down now after they just lost 2 maps. They were so close to win the series. Now they have to buckle down and try again. Arion on Genji, Atrax on Chromie, Makotzel on Malfuria, and we have Mopsy on Muradin. And Richu with Osin's Renewal as his level 1 talent is playing Leoki. Static Charge for Tassadar on level 1. And, well, off we go. Let's see what is possible now for the blue team. Jet Propulsion already missing. Nice wall though. Shizakid's protected for a second, but still taking way too much damage and falling eventually. So that is kill number 1. The Enjoyers apparently not really too intimidated after what just happened on the last map. So they're coming in and they're getting the initial damage out and also first blood as a result. So, down at the bottom of the map, our 1v1, of course, now with the tether. Ooh, at the top, hello, and another kill. Woo! That is a dead Protoss. So, Tassadar is gone, and that kind of sucks for DDX. Once again, they're losing the momentum in the early game. After just having a massive, massive win on Cursed Hollow, they're now 0-2 in kills. Not too big of a problem yet. We saw on the last map that they can always come back into the game. But let's see how much momentum is going to be built up here by the 2 teams and who is going to be able to get the first objective, for example. Get a couple of Web Weavers going and start this up. Muradin still very, very aggressive at the front. Mopsio really, really likes to play this out with Muradin. He's played a couple of games also with Diablo, but one of his go-tos is definitely the Dwarf here. Budget Gimli. Tracer, kind of getting chased at the bottom of the map. Arion has done absolutely spectacular with Genji in the previous series that the Enjoyers played when they were on Tomb of the Spider Queen. He basically saved them, single-handedly. So I want to see if he can now perform similarly, because if he is able to play once more on the same level, then the blue team is in for a pretty rough ride and will have to really, really go to try and shut him down. I love, by the way, the combo. I've been talking about this in the past, but Tassadar with the wall and then Diablo just using the wall for like a stun wall is awesome. It works with Leoric, it works with Tassadar, but whenever you see that little interplay and it's coordinated well by the teammates, it's a lot of fun. So this is exactly what they're trying to do here. They're trying to create some additional opportunities for Diablo to get those stuns in and then build around them. And at least for now, it's been working alright. He didn't get a kill yet, but they're definitely creating some hot zones for several of the heroes. Siege Giants at the bottom of the map, likely soon going to be claimed. For now, actually, Blaze is coming back in. And at the top, already some burst damage. It's all about the gems at this point, of course. Teams are slowly getting them together here and are working soon on the first turn-in. We are 7 short now for the Enjoyers to get themselves the first Web Weaver wave. But Richu turned in. That's actually pretty big as the side laner. Side laners normally hold a whole lot of gems because they're getting wave after wave, and them turning in is big. Normally teams are trying to prevent the side laners from turning in whenever they are attempting to negate, or not negate, but shut down the first turn attempt of the opponent. But this was a big one. Now they're going also for Blaze. They want another kill here. Virgil is low and makes it out of the fight, but close call for him and has to actually hearth right now. So that opens up more opportunities to turn gems in, which they're not immediately using because they still have a mercenary camp that they're going for at the same time. Over on the left side, though, it's a little bit weird to see Tacita ride on a wolf. I mean, I'm sorry, Lopaka, but that is just weird. This is just too awkward. A Protoss on a dire wolf. I'm not quite sure if I can give my okay on that. That's definitely a thumbs down for me. So, yeah, not a thing. 24 to 15 gems now turned in. Murden with a couple of Stormbolt connects once more. And Tracer is zipping around the Siege Giants at the bottom of the map, trying to get those. But here comes the play for Blaze, and he gets out. Yeah, they're still trying on Leo, but he will have to deal with those Siege Giants first. So, Deckard Cain gets a bit annoyed and also hit by a Skullcracker. But there's no, if he goes for Playmaker again, this would have been a moment to really use it. If this was a level 20 play, sorry, a level 10 play already, then a Haymaker would have been there immediately to try and isolate Deckard Cain even more. But everybody's looking for turn-ins. The gems are there. They both have them. Diablo, oh, that might be a problem. Deckard Cain, the old geezer, fully surrounded. He's gone, he's gone. He needs to die, and he does. But they might get the kill on Leo, and they do. Problem is that Tracer's also a little bit low. But it's a trade, and, well, Leo will be back quickly. He immediately connected the drain with Diablo, so that's going to save him. Tracer also fairly low here, and had to be careful. She's holding 21 gems at this point. So has to be very, very cautious that she doesn't fall either. Another wall stun attempt here. Obviously, by now, Deckard Cain and Tracer are both coming back from the Nexus. One half, the other one died. And talking about dying, seems like Lopaka is going to join those. Yeah, the gallery of dead heroes in this game. We have a significant lead in experience now for the Enjoyers, and they will grab a level 10 ability fairly soon. And obviously, they should be able to now turn into... Oh! Tracer nearly murdered by Chromie. That did not line up perfectly. If it had, it would have been a dead Tracer. So here's the level 10 abilities. 43 gems have been delivered, and now the final ones have been turned into. This is the Enjoyers with another objective. The first objective for the final map. But they have the momentum right now. Couple of the walls already low. But at level 10, we're getting the first objective of the game. 6.5 minutes into it. We get Archon for Tacita. Lightning Fury, Lightning Breath for Diablo. And of course the bunker for Blaze, who's now all alone down at the bottom of the map against Leoric. And a bit of Blaze action as well. But the fight in the middle of the map focuses on Chromie. And Chromie! Is she gonna die? Are they gonna get the kill? Nope, they're not. Chromie survives. And instead they go for Diablo. And they're going to take him down. That's 32 gems down the drain. This is a massive loss. Big Entomb. Massive Entomb. And that's another kill.
And we say bye-bye.
That's the end of Dibbles. He gets at least the souls, but they lose the gems. And they lose Tacita. Not a lot of structures have been destroyed here by the Enjoyers, but just them removing the walls and also taking the gems away from the opponent. That was massive. It was absolutely massive. Lots of gems lost. They would have loved to get a little bit more damage in on those structures, but they couldn't get that. So now we have still a turn-in available for both teams. Technically, it could be a double turn-in for the Enjoyers. They are holding enough gems to make that happen. But they go for the Siege Giants right now. And of course, the problem for the blue team is that once again, they have lost momentum in the game. The Enjoyers are the one in the driver's seat. They making the calls and the blue team is reacting. But they can bring this back. They lost some gems, but they're not too far behind. They didn't lose any forts yet. They have turn-in opportunities themselves. But they also have to deal with Chromie somehow, who has been an absolutely thorn in their side throughout all of this. The damage output of Chromie at 24,000 now. She's top damage in the game. Ahead of Tracer with 21,000. Genji, by the way. Sorry, Genji with the 25,000. Chromium still a respectable 19k. But not surpassing Genji just yet here. Yeah, and Arian, I said it before, but he really impressed with his performance on Tomb of the Spider Queen in the previous best of 5 that they played. And now he can just do exactly that as well. Quick wall stun by Diablo. Dead inside turns in. Tracer delivers. And that is Web Weavers for the blue team. They should make sure that they're not losing the old man though. And he's gone. Deckard Cain is gone. Leo is moving back out. They can't get the kill there either. The bomb connects with Muradin, but they're still fine there. Jet propulsion. This could actually get problematic for the red team if they're not paying attention here. Muradin jumps out. Richu also with 17 stacks needs to be very careful that he doesn't fall. And, well, with them moving back, they still lack the blue team still lacks their support, their healer. And they turn again on Tassadar. So I'm not quite sure how much damage they can really do with this push. Mopsio loves to play this one close. He has Avatar this time, but he's also been dropped multiple times. Mega low. Level 13 talents, and that is probably where they're going to get the most out of this push. And I gotta say, this is the first turn-in for DDX, but they are probably going to walk away with a destroyed fort. Yep, they are. That fort's gone. Can't save that anymore, so good for them. They're not just rolling over here. They might have only gotten a single kill so far, but they're doing pretty okay when it comes to these plays that we're seeing around the objective. Good push power. But now the next team fight, potentially. Muradin with another Stormbolt, but no Playmaker this time. And you can really tell the comfort picks for them. Malfurion gets taken once more. Big Entomb, and Tassadar gets crushed. Mopsio is jumping back out. 28 gems in his hands. They want the kill on Virgil, and they get it. That's a lot of gems on the ground. 27, if I'm not mistaken, that they just lost here. Tracer is trying for a moment, or thinking for a moment about recovering at least a few of them, but that didn't plan out either. So they're down to 13 gems that they're holding, and the red team now mega close to another Web Weaver wave, to another turn-in, which would take some of the forts out. In comes the Lightning Breath, but Diablo will fall, and he is down for the entire duration this time. He just didn't have the stacks. He was at 97 minions. It's just not enough. The bottom fort already taking significant damage here. All lining up for Tassadar to get his damage out. But, yep, there's the turn-in. Web Weavers are coming in. They're going for the camp. They're actually going to be a little bit late on this one. Yeah, Chromie is, I guess, going to take it. But they're already moving down to the bottom of the map. They were hoping to get Siege Giants too. But Leo has to move out, and he's likely going to die. Leo's gone. He will be back. If you lose anybody in that situation, then it's Leo that you want to lose. He connects the drain, and he will be very quickly back to business. But they also have level 16 talents now. With that, we get Nature's Balance. We also have the Dwarf launch now. In the middle, I suppose this fort is going to take some severe damage. At the bottom, it's going to get destroyed 100%. Leo is back in 10 seconds. And defense is not looking too bad. Tassadar is great for these situations, but the fort is still taking a beating. And they have, of course, the mercenary camp as well. We go again for Diablo. He survives, but so does the fort. Guys, they are not taking a lot out here. The bottom fort will be destroyed. And maybe now Diablo? Yeah. What? Okay, finally. Diablo is gone. Leoric, on the other hand, is he going to make it out? And the answer is no. They're trading kills. Web Weavers arriving at the top. Oh boy, no! Not like this. Tracer and Deckard Cain both get murdered. Topside fort has fallen, but yeah, that was big. That situation where they just got lined up and then the roots. This is something that I talked about earlier. There's a lot of preference picks for the enjoyers. And I talked a bit about Markotzel and his Malfurion. Every single time that they played with him on Malfurion, there were multiple situations where he just nails the opponent. Absolutely brutalizes them with some good roots on the ground. It's not only just the tools for survivability that he brings in, but a lot of how he plays the hero and how he always is on point with the team, like fully in sync, allows them so many kill opportunities. And this was a perfect example of exactly that. 37 gems for DDX and another turn-in opportunity for the enjoyers, essentially. They have enough to get another turn-in, and they're already working on it. So, seems like we're going to get another set of Web Weavers for them. They have to make sure... Yeah, okay, he's turning it down here. Actually, Richu? I mean, they can turn it with someone else, that's fine, but if they want the Web Weavers now, then they need to go for it. And Mopsio is the one to deliver. Okay, so they take the fort out in the middle. At the top, the boss is defeated, but it did some damage to the wall at the keep. And we're going to get another turn in now from the red team. The Enjoyers, they want the series, and they're getting closer and closer to a potential victory. So, yeah, they're getting there. Now, Leo at the bottom of the map, still waiting for the Web Weavers to come in. He's going to escort them through and take a few more waves out so that they can damage the bot lane keep as well. But they are in there, and they have a 1.5 level advantage now. So pretty significant lead for them. No talent advantage yet, but they're already on level 19. And top side, they of course want the keep. 48,000 damage for Genji, Chromie at 43k, and Tracer at 47,000. Tassadar defending at the bottom of the map. But there's the trap against Diablo. They go for him, and he still makes it. Diablo survives, and here comes the barbecue play. Seems like they can actually defend this. This was a 4-man defense because Tassadar was busy at the bot lane and at the mid lane. So this Web Weaver wave has done nothing. They didn't get a lot. They pushed the lanes out, they did damage to the top side key, but they didn't destroy anything. And this is all playing out with 2 additional Web Weaver waves compared to what the blue team had so far. Tassadar isn't here yet for the fight, and this could be a problem for Blaze. Virgil is low, and Genji is again the one with the kill. I'm telling you, Genji, Arian, an absolute monster. Now they go for Diablo, and you guessed it already, he's not going to make it either. Diablo is dead, that's a double kill, that's level 20, and they have their Storm talents now and can try to push with those. 15 kills to 3. Crazy. It seems like on the final map, Enjoyers just simply said, you know what guys, we're done with this. Let's screw this. Let's just go for it. Now, the good news for DDX is they still haven't lost a single keep. It's the one good news. No keep has fallen. Top keep is still staying as well. And they are defending well. But turning this around will require them to either win big team fights or get at least a few turn-ins. And they don't have the gems right now. They delivered 50 gems so far, and now they're looking at 35 that they're holding. Whoa, the kill! Too much damage. Too well coordinated. Blaze just gone. Gone. One moment he's there, next moment he disappears. Blaze gets killed. And now they're going again for the bottom keep. And up at the top. This could also take some damage with the catapult and minion waves that are pushing in. There's one catapult already and it gets joined by a second. But it's more about the keep at the bottom of the map, which is definitely going to get destroyed here. No saving this one. Up here, they will defend. They already rotated over. Question, of course, remains, how is the blue team now going to react to all of this? Because they need something. At some point, they have to throw out a Hail Mary. You can't just play it out like this the entire time and expect that they're going to take things. They are sieging up at the top lane now. This keep is low enough that they have a good chance to get some extra damage in. Even if they don't take it right here, just dropping it a bit lower would already be worth it. But level 20 is, of course, super close now for DDX as well. But Genji is just coming in, and that's 2 keeps gone. 2 keeps eliminated. And talking about eliminating things, eliminate Diablo. Diablo's gone as well. Level 20 is ready for DDX. But if they lose another hero here, they might actually lose the game. So the attacks are coming. Deckard Cain, the old guy, once more with an ult. Stay a while. Get wrecked. Nobody got wrecked over here, though. Boss up in, what, 2 minutes? 10 seconds! Alright, I guess they'll take that. They can definitely go for a boss if they want to. Diablo isn't here. They could do that. They should do that. I'm surprised they don't do that. I mean, honestly, with him, with Diablo down, that was an opportunity to go for a boss. They didn't take that, but they still might be able to get a kill here. They try to go for the Entomb, and they hit it on Tassadar, and he's gone. Tassadar is gone. Gems are lost. Leo is dead as well, but it seems like Deckard Cain is not getting out of this alive. He dies, and now they're just chasing them, and they're chasing hard. That's going to be the end of Blaze, and now they just need to decide if they want to go for the boss or straight for the core. Leo is back in 40 seconds. They can go for the boss, they can go for the core. One of the two. They're chasing a few more heroes down here. They want to go for Tracer for another second, but now with Shizakit also dying, the core is wide open. This should be it right here. Unfortunate for DDX. They won 2 games in a row. They forced game number 5 after initially being behind, but they can't go for the full reverse sweep. It is the Enjoyers. They take the series. They win the best of 5. They move on to the playoffs, and DDX drops out of Group B. GG, well played.